नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाच्छदशताय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर भक्त हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So I welcome each one of you for our Bhagavad session. So today we are going to discuss verse number 1.15. So you can refer your Bhagavad Gita 1.15. First chapter, verse number 15. So last time we had discussed the first verse of Bhagavad Gita 1.1. And I had requested each one of you to go through the purport and please memorize that shloka. So can somebody uh, recite that verse without saying? Yes, Chaitanya Prabhu.
धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुत्सवा मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव किमुकुर्वत संजय।
Very good, very good. Okay, anybody else?
धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुत्सवा मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव किमुकुर्वत संजय।
Okay, Mayank Prabhu.
धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्र संवेतायुत्सवा मामका पाण्डवश्चैव किमकुर्वत् सञ्जय।
Thank you so much. And I hope that you also read the purport. Please go through the purport. There are many lessons, many things Prabhupada is explaining in that purport. So today we'll go for 1.15. So you can repeat after me. Panchajanya Rishikesho
ऋषिकेशो
Devadattam Dhananjaya
देवदत्तं धनञ्जय
Pondram Dadmo Mahashankham
शङ्कर
Bhimakarmavrikodaraha
भीमग्रदोदरः
Panchajanya Rishikesho
अन्यजन्य ऋषिकेशो
Devadattam Dhananjaya
देवदत्तं धनञ्जय
Pondram Dadmo Mahashankha
महाशङ्कर
Bhimakarmavrikodaraha
भीमकर्मोदरः
Panchajanya Rishikesho
अन्यजन्य ऋषिकेशो
Devadattam Dhananjaya
देवदत्तं धनञ्जय
Pondram Dadmo Mahashankha
दम्भो महाशङ्कर
Bhimakarmavrikodaraha.
कर्मोदरः
Can somebody recite this verse?
पञ्चजन्य ऋषिकेशो
Panchajanya Rishikesho
दत्तं धनञ्जयः
Devadattam Dhananjaya
रं दम्भो महाशङ्खः
Pondram Dadmo Mahashankha Bhimakarmavrikodaraha. Can somebody read the translation?
भगवान श्रीकृष्णांनी आपला नावाचा शंख वाजविला. अर्जुनाने त्याचा देवदत्त नामक शंख वाजविला आणि अतिदुष्कर कार्य करणाऱ्या मृगोदर भीमाने आपला पौंड्र नामक शंख वाजविला.
Okay. So now the scene is shifting. So last time we saw that Dhritarashtra is inquiring. Dhritarashtra is inquiring to Sanjaya, what did my sons of my sons and the sons of Bandhu, what did they do? And last time we elaborately discussed about Dhritarashtra's mentality, the separatist mentality. So what happening after that? Now Sanjaya is explaining what is happening on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So Duryodhana, who is seeing the both the armies, by observing the army now, Duryodhana is approaching to Bhishma Dev and Dronacharya. As now he's counting the great warriors who had assembled on his side and also on the side of Pandavas. He's counting both the parties, the main heroes, the great warrior. Last time we had discussed that from the Kaurav side there were 11 Akshahoni Sena, and from Pandava side there were 7 Akshahoni. So I researched about it. The one Akshahoni contains 21,870 chariot, 21,870 elephant, 65,610 uh, uh, the charioteer, and 1,09,350 soldiers. This means one Akshamuni Sena. So you can imagine how much soldiers were there, how much commander in chief, how many horses and elephants were there on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So now seeing the armies, Duryodhana is counting the great warriors on the both the side. So you can see the verses. Today we are discussing 15 months. Before that there is many verses in which he is counting the great warrior. So from his own side, he is saying, from our side, we have Bhishma, we have Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Karna, Ashwatthama. Like that, he is counting the great warriors because he has so much faith in these people that whatever happens, they will be victorious. Bhishma, who can defeat Bhishma? The person who is having the boon of Ichha Mrityu. That means unless he himself desired, Mrityu can't touch him. Dronacharya, who can defeat Dronacharya? Ashwatthama, who is a Chiranjeevi, who can defeat him? So like that, Duryodhana is counting many warriors from his side. And now, in this verse, before this, he started counting the Pandavas' hero. So interestingly, he counted Bhima because from the beginning of their life, Kauravas and Pandavas, especially towards Bhima, Duryodhana has a great enemy because Bhima was so powerful. Since childhood only, Bhima was really powerful, and therefore they had tried to feed him poison. But from that episode also he survived, and he came with the major greater strength. Even he is now more powerful. So he's counting Bhima, he's counting Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva, Drupada, the Drishtadumna, like that. He also counting many Pandavas heroes. But interestingly, he didn't mention the name of Krishna. Can you imagine this? He counting everybody except Krishna. So here we can see the perspective, the mentality of Duryodhana. He is counting everybody, but he discounting Krishna. So this is the thought process of a materialistic person. This is the thought process of atheist person. He is counting Bhishma and Karna and Ashwatthama, Dronacharya. On the Pandava side, he is counting uh, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva, Yudhishthir, Drupad Maharaj. But he didn't count Krishna because he's thinking before the war was happening, Krishna has taken a vow that he is not going to lift any weapon in this war. So, what is the point of having such a person in your army who has taken a vow that he will not pick up any weapon? एक निहत्ते व्यक्ति को मेरे आर्मी में लेके क्या? What is the use of such a person? अगर युद्ध में कोई व्यक्ति गया और उसके पास अगर कोई वेपन ही नहीं हो और उसने अगर ऐसा प्रतिज्ञा ले रखी हो कि मैं युद्ध में कोई शस्त्र नहीं उठाऊंगा, तो ऐसे व्यक्ति को आप किस में गिनती करेंगे? So there were many gradation of the warriors. They were called Rathi. Rathi means one who can fight with one chariot and one opponent who is also an Rathi. Basically, both the warriors, they are standing in the chariot and they are fighting with each other. They are called Rathi. There are another, they were called Athirathi. That means at a one time they can fight with many charioteers. He is one, but he can fight with many. And like that, there were, apart from that, there are such a Arjuna, Bhishma, who they can fight one person, they can fight with many thousands of warriors. So Duryodhana is discounting Krishna. So this is the mentality of materialistic person. But he didn't understand, although Krishna had taken a vow that he will not going to lift any weapon, still he is more powerful than anybody else. Purposefully, Krishna didn't lift any weapon. Before only he has declared that I am not going to lift any weapon, I am just going to be a charioteer. So why? Why this is? Because if Krishna had lifted the weapon, his weapon is Sudarshana. And it is so powerful, so much powerful that before the Kurukshetra war would have ended within one day. If Krishna had decided to lift his weapon, Sudarshana Chakra. And whole credit was given it to Krishna. But Krishna always want that his devotee should get credit for whatever good is happening. So therefore, Krishna decided not to lift any weapon. But Duryodhana misunderstood and he discounting Krishna. And we can see this is the thought process of a materialistic person. An atheist person, although he is saying all the things, the today's atheists, they can also see there are many, many wonderful things happening in this creation. There are so much amazing things. Scientists, day by day, they are advancing. Every new day, they're coming with new invention, but they never count that it is because of Krishna. Now we will again another person who is narrating all this incident, Sanjaya. We saw the mentality of Duryodhana. He is discounting Krishna because he don't know, he didn't understand. Although this person is weaponless, but without weapon also he is so much powerful. And there are many instances in the upcoming verses we will say how, although Krishna was weaponless, and Arjuna know this. Arjuna, Arjuna's intention was very clear. When the proposal was given, Krishna said that I am not going to lift any weapon. But still Arjuna says, I want you only. Because I didn't know weapons. Because I am powerful. I have skills. I have limit. I have defeated many many kings. So I have weapons. I have astra, shastra, everything I have. But I need guidance. For that I need you. I don't need weapon from you. I don't need your power. I need guidance from you. So from beginning only, Arjuna is very much clear what he wants from Krishna. So now we'll see the mentality of another person, and that is a Sanjaya. When Duryodhana was narrating the main hero of the Pandavas, he discounted Krishna. But in this verse, the first time Sanjaya is speaking about the army of Pandava. And first name he is uttering, that is Krishna. And in this verse, the name has come Rishikesha. So there are different name of Krishna. What is the meaning of Rishikesha? Rishika means senses, and Isha means the master. So therefore, Krishna is called the master of senses. So here, Rishikesha word has come. Before that, in 14th verse, another word come. Uh, he is calling Madhava Pandavaschaiva. So here also he is counting Krishna before Pandavas. See the difference. Duryodhana was counting everybody except Krishna, but Sanjaya is counting Krishna first, then others. So first is saying Madhava Pandava Cheva in 14th verse, and in 15th verse also is saying is starting verse with the Rishikesha. The word Rishikesha. So this is the mentality of a devotee. A materialist see everything, but he discounted Krishna. But a devotee, he also recognize everything, but he count Krishna first. So this is a lesson for us, my dear friends. Although in the life of devotee, sometimes we may think, अरे हमारे पास तो कुछ नहीं है, And materialistic people, they are having so many resources. They have power, they have fame, just like Duryodhana. Duryodhana is having great warriors. Karuna, Ashwatthama, he is having the number of soldiers, 11 Akshon, and the Pandavas having only 7. So similarly, in our life also, sometimes as a devotee, this thought may come in our mind, अरे हमारे पास तो कुछ नहीं. We are very small as compared to the outside people. Today, nowadays, people are following the path of hell, and then everybody is going towards the path of hell. अधर्म के रास्ते पे चल गए सब लोग. And there are very few who are trying to walk on the path of dharma. There are very less people who are trying to follow the principle of dharma. There are very few people who are trying to live by the instruction of Krishna. So thought may come in our mind, अरे हम तो बहुत कम है संख्या में. So my dear friend, पांडवा भी बहुत ही छोटे थे, केवल 5. And how many Kauravas were there? 100. And along with those 100, there are so many kings. They have joined the party of Kauravas. Even the maternal uncle of Pandavas, he himself joined the party of Kauravas. Can you believe this? The maternal मामा जी, पांडव के जो मामा जी थे, उन्होंने भी दुर्योधन की साइड से लड़ने का निश्चय किया था और उनके पक्ष में चले गए थे. So we'll discuss it why, but not today. So today's the focus of discussion is something else. So this is the two mentality we saw, and the first lesson we understood. Although we are very small in numbers as a devotee, just like a Pandavas were small in numbers, but their greatest strength was Krishna was on their side. And the materialistic person like Duryodhana, they may be having so many resources, the number of people, power, position, and everything, but still their one lack, and that is Krishna was not on their side. So this is the lesson we should understood. So now we'll see in these verses, the series of verses from 14th verse till the 19th verse, there are very many signs of Pandava's victory are already explained. That means who is going to win this war? तो कई सारे लक्षण पहले से ही प्रतीत हो रहे थे कि ये जो युद्ध है वो कौन जीतेगा. Who is going to win this war? So we'll see there are 9 signs of victory from the side of Pandavas. The first sign of victory that Krishna was on the side of Pandavas. And Prabhupada in the purport of 15th verse, Prabhupada says that Jayastu, sorry, not in the 15th, 14th purport, the verse number 14th. In the purport of 14th verse, Prabhupada is saying, Jayastu Panduputrana is Eshan Pakshe Janardana. This is the first sign of victory for Pandavas. And what is that? Krishna himself was present on the side of Pandavas. So how it is possible? From their side, Krishna was there and still they will not be victorious. It is impossible. So Krishna was on their side. This is the first sign of victory. What was the second sign of victory? The second sign of victory is goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi. So word Madhava. Madhava means the husband of Lakshmi Devi. So in Diwali, there are many people who worship Lakshmi Devi because everybody is seeking the kripa from Lakshmi Devi. But Lakshmi Devi is serving Narayana, Vishnu, Krishna. And one of the name of Lakshmi is Chanchala. She never stayed at one place for a long time. But whenever people are worshipping Vishnu, people are worshipping Narayana, that means they are worshipping Krishna. By default, Lakshmi Devi has to show her mercy upon such a people. So because Krishna, Vishnu was himself present on the side of Krishna, obviously, Lakshmi Mata. Bhagya Lakshmi. One of the name of Lakshmi Devi is Bhagya Lakshmi. So that is a second sign of victory that Pandavas are going to victorious because Lakshmi Devi also present on the side of Pandavas. What was the third sign of victory? The place himself, the Kurukshetra, that was a Dharma Kshetra. And because Pandavas were dharmic people, they were virtuous from the beginning of their life. So it was very, very sure that this place of Kurukshetra, which is dharmic, is going to favor Pandavas. This was its third sign of victory. The fourth sign of victory, on the chariot of Arjuna, there was a flag. And on that flag, there was a Hanumanji. So the word come in the shlokas, Kapi Dhvaja. So on the flag of chariot of Arjuna, there was a presence of Hanumanji. So all of us know in the Ramayana what kind of big, big services Hanumanji did. He won the whole Lanka. Before even whole army is reaching on single-handedly, Hanumanji is going to the Lanka, finding out the Sita Mata, and he is burning the Lanka. Such a powerful personality. And there was an episode come in the Mahabharata. Once there was a meeting of Bhima and Hanumanji. So that time, Bhima, Hanumanji became very pleased because both of them are Vayu Putra. है ना? Hanumanji called Pavana Deva. His father is Vayu. And Bhima also is son of Vayu. So both of them are brothers. So one brother is meeting the another brother. And therefore, Hanumanji is asking Bhima, please ask something from me. If you require something, you can ask anything from me. So that time, Bhima requested whom? Hanumanji. So when in future there will be war, at that time I require your help. I need your help. So Hanumanji says, yes, surely I will help you. But in what way? So very interestingly, in Ramayana we see Hanumanji had performed many, many Herculean tasks, many, many difficult tasks. But in the War of Kurukshetra, what is his role? He has been given a role that you have to just sit on the flag. Just sit. And whenever during the war, Bhima used to shout. Bhima used to shout. So that time, in that voice, Hanumanji also supported Bhima. And by hearing that tremendous voice, what used to happen? The opposing warriors, just by hearing that sound, the war cry, it is called war cry of Bhima, their heart became shattered. And that is another sign of victory for Pandavas. When the Kauravas people, they blow their conch shells, जब उन्होंने शंख बजाए अपने अपने, so what is the effect of that conch shells? The blowing of shank in our temple also before the arati, we blow the shank in the before the war was about to start. Both the parties they blew their own conch shells, and in this verse also it is described that Panchajanya, Lord Krishna blew his own conch shell named Panchajanya. And then Devadatta, Arjuna blew his conch shells, Devadatta. When Kauravas blew their own conch shells, there was no such a effect on the side of Pandavas. But when the Pandavas people, they blew their conch shells, by hearing that sound, because their conch shells were divya. The word is here in the 14th verse. Madhava Pandava Chaiva Divya Shankam Pratadmadu. Because their conscience were not ordinary. This was another sign of victory. Their conscience were extraordinary. The very name Panchajanna refers to there was a demon called Panchajanna. And when Lord Krishna completed his education, from the ashram of Sandipani Rishi, and Sandipani Rishi was asking the Guru Dakshina, and he thought that Krishna is not an ordinary person, therefore let me ask something extraordinary from Krishna. So he asked, 1 year back, my son had drowned in the ocean. So please bring back that son of mine. And just by hearing the request of his guru, Krishna went, and there was a demon who was living in the ocean, Panchajana. Krishna killed him, and from him he procured these councils, and the councils became Panchajanya. So these councils are named here Divya. They are extraordinary. And by hearing the sound of these councils, the Kauravas people, their confidence of fighting war, it was reduced. This was another sign of victory. The uh, the conscience himself is a sign of Vishnu, because Lord Vishnu carries the conscience in his hand. So Lord Vishnu always carry Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma in his hand. So conscience himself is a divine symbol. This was another sign of victory. Then Bhishmadeva also blew his counsel. So one may ask, why Bhishmadeva is blowing his counsel? When Duryodhana approached Bhishmadev and he was explaining, see, on the side of the Pandavas there are this many heroes, and there are our side there are this many people. So that time, hearing and understand the anxiety of Duryodhana, just to encourage him, and Bhishmadeva also wanted to give a message, a subtle message to Duryodhana, that my dear grandson, whatever you do, there is no chance for you to victory, because Pandavas are going to be victorious. No matter whatever you do, whatever people you have, ultimately they are going to be victorious. So Bhishmadeva also silently give this message to Duryodhana. This was another sign of victory for Pandavas. And the chariot of Arjuna was not an ordinary chariot. That was given by Agnidev himself. When the Pandavas were awarded with the Khandava Prastha, when they were requesting that give us our kingdom back. So that time Kauravas, they thought, let us give them the forest area. So there was a forest named Khandava forest. All the kingdom, rest of the kingdom were taken by Kauravas. And they gave that Khandar, that forest land where nothing can be grown, to the Pandavas. But with the help Krishna and Arjuna, they created a Indraprastha. They built a whole palace on the land of this Khandava. And the Khandava Prastha became a Indraprastha. Indraprastha means such a mansion which is more beautiful than the palace of Indra. Therefore, it was named as Indraprastha. So, in that episode, uh, before that, when that forest was need to be burned, Agnideva was there. And with the request of Agnideva, that whole forest was burned down. And for that, Arjuna and Krishna helped. And after this episode, Agnideva became very pleased, and he offered that Gandiva book, and that inexhaustible quiver. That means Arjuna can use whatever number of arrows from his quiver, and that quiver will not be exhausted. कितने भी बाणों का उपयोग अगर अर्जुन करते हैं, फिर भी जो बाण है वो कभी समाप्त नहीं होंगे. So this was another sign of victory for Pandavas. So this was different sign of victory So before war happening, it was clear that Pandavas are going to be victorious. And in this verse also, Krishna, Sanjay is taking the name of Rishikesha. So Rishikesha means master of the senses. So here in the throughout Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is called with the different name and Arjuna is also called with the different name. But it was not a random thing. Whenever the particular name is uttered, a particular name is used, there is a lot of significance to this name. So why the name Madhava is used? Because Madhava means husband of Lakshmi Devi. तो संजय वांट टू इंडिकेट, अरे जहां पे लक्ष्मी देवी के पति स्वयं उपस्थित है और जिनके ऊपर लक्ष्मी देवी की कृपा है, कृष्ण की कृपा तो है ही और साथ साथ लक्ष्मी देवी की भी कृपा होना ही है, क्योंकि शी इज ए वेरी पतिव्रता स्त्री एंड पतिव्रता स्त्री में नेवर लीव्स हर हस्बैंड एंड कृष्ण इज ऑन द साइड ऑफ पांडव, दैट मींस लक्ष्मी देवी इज आल्सो बी ऑन द साइड ऑफ पांडव. So why therefore the Madhava word is in this word Rishika is used. Why? Now Arjuna is thinking, my dear Lord, you are said as a master of senses. Master of senses. It means Krishna is master of everybody's senses. So here Arjuna is indicating he is kind of requesting Krishna, my dear Lord, now you please direct my you are senses. Rather than I am directing my senses, it better direct my. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So why the name Rishikesha is there? Because Arjuna is indicating, is kind of requesting Krishna, my dear Lord, you please take charge of my senses. We also, as a devotee, we also need to control our senses. We need to follow the four negative principle. We can't eat outside. Everything and anything, whatever we see, we may like those things, but we can't eat. So we also have the senses. So just like Arjuna is requesting, because my lord, you are powerful. You are the master of everybody's senses. So I may fail to control my senses. So you please take charge of my senses. And therefore Arjuna is taking the name of Rishikesha. So similarly, we can also, as a practicing devotee, whenever we feel helpless in front of our senses, your senses are very strong. The sense of eating, sense of taste, sense of seeing, sense of hearing, sense of smelling, and sense of touch. We have these five senses, and they are just like a five powerful horses. And each horse is wanted to run away in a certain direction. Our eyes wanted to see beautiful thing. Our ear wanted to hear something beautiful. Our tongue wanted to taste something very tasty. So we may also feel sometimes helpless in front of these powerful horses of senses. So that time, just like Arjuna is praying, we should also pray to Krishna, my dear Lord, I am helpless in front of these horses. So please, you are Rishikesha, kindly control my senses. Help to control my senses. So in that way, we can pray. Okay. So just a short recap, what we discussed today. So we saw the mentality of Duryodhana and Sanjay. So Duryodhana is discounting Krishna, discounting everything, everybody on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, on his side, on the side of Pandavas. But he is discounting Krishna because he is thinking, what is the use of a person who is not going to lift any weapon? And what we can learn from this? This is the mentality of an atheist person. But what is the mentality of Krishna devotee? Yes, although devotee knows that Krishna, just like Arjuna was very clear, although Krishna is not going to lift any weapon for me, but the most powerful weapon is Krishna's guidance, Krishna's instruction. And just like Arjuna depended on the instruction of Krishna, we should also depend on the instruction of Krishna. And materialistic may discount Krishna, but a devotee always count Krishna first in his life. We may be small in numbers, but still the one factor which is so much powerful, and that is a Krishna factor that is in the side of a devotee. So as a devotee, we should not be ever hopeless. Whatever the situation may be in our life, we should never be hopeless because the greatest factor of hope is on the side of ours, and that is a Krishna factor. So we should never discount Krishna factor, my dear friend. So always remember, Krishna is a Bhakta Vatsal and he never ever lazy in helping his devotees. And then we saw Sanjay's mentality. Sanjay first count Krishna, then he's counting the rest of the people. Similarly, in our life also, we should always give preference to Krishna. Krishna means Krishna Bhakti, chanting the round of Hare Krishna mantra, studying the Bhagavad Gita, associating with the devotees, going to the temple, bowing down in front of Krishna. Then we saw the different signs of victory. Before the war happening, it was clear, very, very clear that Pandavas are going to be victorious. So can somebody tell me what was the first sign of victory for the Pandavas? Please unmute yourself and each one of you can speak one sign of victory. First sign of victory.
Krishna around side of Pandavas.
Yes, the greatest and the strongest sign is Krishna himself was on the side of Pandavas. Jayastu Panduputranam Eshan Pakshe Janardana. भगवान कृष्ण उनके पक्ष में है. यह सबसे बड़ा फैक्टर. What was the second?
Goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, Chanchala, or Bhagya Lakshmi was from the side of Pandavas because
Ah,
where is Krishna, there is
because
Lakshmi.
Krishna was there, by default, Lakshmi Devi has to be there. Okay. What was the third sign of victory?
Hanumanji was set on the back of tell.
I can't hear you.
Hanumanji was on the flag of Pandavas.
Hanumanji, he's saying Hanumanji.
Shyam
Please
Sundar.
come closer.
Hanuman,
Come
please come
closer.
closer.
Unable to hear you.
Hanumanji was on the flag of Pandavas.
Yeah, right. Hanumanji was there also there on the flag of Arjuna. This was another sign of victory. Okay. What else?
Battlefield was
Very good. Shivam Prabhu is saying battlefield of Kurukshetra because Kurukshetra was a dharma kshetra, and because Pandavas were dharmic, they were virtuous. It is very sure that this place will favor Pandavas. Okay. One more thing.
Extraordinary consciousness.
Extraordinary conchals. The Shanka which were blown, they were called Divyam Shankho Pratadmadhu. This was another sign of victory. And what was happened by hearing those conchals? What was the effect on the army of Kauravas?
Their confidence is reduces.
हाँ, the confidence कि हमें युद्ध करना है, वो confidence ही चला गया. Their heart were shattered by the dhvani of Divya Shankho. This was another sign. Their heart were shattered by the sound of conchals. Okay, two things are there.
Arjuna
Two more
got
things.
his Arjuna got Gandiva bow from
Yes.
Agni Dev.
So Arjuna is having the chariot and the bow and the quiver given by Agni Deva himself. So this was another sign of victory. Okay, last, Bhishma Deva also blew his conscience, and he is indicating Duryodhana, no matter whatever you do, whatever strength you have, whatever people you have, ultimately you are going to finish. And therefore, to encourage him, because he was very depressed, he was despondent, and Bhishma Deva thought, okay, let me encourage this fellow. Anyway, he is going to lose. Let me encourage because I need to do my duty as a warrior. I need to perform my duty, and therefore he blew his conscience. These were the sign of victory for the Pandavas. Okay, so we'll stop here. If anybody has any question, doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, we can have pause here. Okay, so what was the two lessons we learned today? The first lesson, can anybody tell me?
Mentality of Duryodhana and Sanjay.
So what we can learn from this?
Mentality of deity and uh, non-deity person.
तो एक भक्त का भाव क्या होना चाहिए?
We should always count Krishna first.
Ah, this is the lesson. This is the answer I was looking for. A devotee first count Krishna. Krishna factor. We should not discount Krishna just like Duryodhana is discounting and he is giving value to rest of the things. But he is not giving value to Krishna. But we should not do this mistake. Okay. And what else? What we learn from the name Rishikesha?
Master of senses.
हाँ, so what we should be praying? हमें भगवान से क्या प्रार्थना करनी चाहिए?
Help us to control ourselves. Yes, we should ask Lord Krishna to help us to control our senses.
Ah, this is the answer. Right answer. Thank you, Harshal Prabhu. Just like Arjuna is praying, my dear Lord, you please take charge of my senses because you are Rishikesh. I may be helpless, I may be lacking, but you can help me. Similarly, we can also pray, Lord Krishna, because we also have five senses and they are like wild horses. So let us pray to Krishna, my dear Lord, please take the charge of our senses, take the charge of my senses, so that I can follow the regulative principle of Krishna consciousness. Okay, so thank you so much, Prabhus, for coming and giving your valuable time. So once again, I am requesting, this time the verse was very familiar to all of you, first verse of Bhagavad Gita. But next time you have to by heart this verse 1.15. Okay? And please go through the purport, what Srila Prabhupada is saying. Okay? And if you have any doubt after reading that purport, you can always contact me. Okay? So we'll stop here. Anything from your side? Okay, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय.